right now, somewhere on your body, an itch is forming. Maybe it's your arm. Maybe it's the back of your neck. And the second you read this, your brain just checked. You didn't choose to check. Your nervous system did it for you. Because itching is one of the strangest sensations you own. It isn't pain. It isn't quite touch. It's a signal that lives in a category all its own. And the relief you get from scratching? That's not a small thing. That's your brain trading one feeling for another on purpose. So the real question isn't why you itch. The better question is this: why does scratching, of all things, feel so absurdly satisfying? Let's slow this down and actually feel what your body is doing. An itch starts when a tiny set of nerve fibers in your skin gets triggered. They're called C fibers, and they're shockingly slow compared to your other nerves. While a pain signal can race up your body in a fraction of a second, an itch signal strolls. That slowness is part of why an itch lingers. It doesn't slap you and leave, it nags. And nagging, in evolutionary terms, is the whole point. Because an itch is a message. Something is on your skin. Check it now. A bug, a leaf, a parasite, a bit of dust. For most of human history, the things landing on your skin could actually hurt you. A mosquito could carry disease. A tick could burrow in unnoticed. So your body evolved a sensation specifically designed to demand attention until you physically remove the threat. Itching, in other words, is your skin's tiny alarm system. And scratching is the off switch. Here's where it gets weirder. The moment your fingernails drag across that spot, something fascinating happens inside your brain. Scratching creates a mild controlled signal of pain, and pain travels on faster nerves than itch does. Those faster nerves essentially elbow the itch signal out of the way before it can reach your brain. Your nervous system can only carry so much information at once, and pain wins the race. So scratching doesn't actually remove the itch, it overwrites it. Think about that for a second. The relief you feel isn't the absence of irritation, it's a tiny deliberate dose of discomfort, dressed up as pleasure. And your brain, strangely, rewards you for it. When you scratch, an area deep inside your brain releases a small burst of serotonin, a chemical involved in reward and mood. It's the same family of chemicals that makes a warm meal, a good stretch, or a long sigh feel quietly amazing. Which is exactly why a really good scratch doesn't just feel like relief, it feels good. That little chemical reward is your body's way of saying, "Thank you for checking, do that again next time." But the system has a quirk, and it's a beautiful one. Serotonin, the very chemical that rewards you for scratching, can also make the surrounding skin slightly more itchy. So the more you scratch, the more your brain says, "Wait, there's still something there." And the itch creeps back, sometimes stronger and a little wider than before. This is called the itch-scratch cycle, and once you know it exists, you can feel it happening in real time. Scratch, relief, pause, new itch nearby, scratch again. Your body is essentially negotiating with itself, and you're caught in the middle of the conversation. There's another layer that makes this even stranger. Itching is contagious. If I describe an itch slowly enough, the soft crawl of a spider's legs across your forearm, a single hair brushing your ankle, a faint tickle at the back of your neck, your skin starts to respond. You probably just felt something. That's not your imagination. Studies have shown that simply seeing someone else scratch can trigger an itch in your own body, lighting up the same regions of the brain involved in feeling itches yourself. Your nervous system, in a quiet way, is reading the room. It's the same family of mirror responses that makes yawns contagious and laughter spread across a table. Your body assumes that if someone nearby is itching, maybe there's something in the environment you should probably check on too. It's ancient teamwork hidden inside a sensation you barely think about. Now here's where the science gets genuinely surprising. For most of medical history, itching was assumed to be a mild form of pain, a baby version of the same signal, riding the same wires. But in recent decades, researchers identified specific nerve pathways and chemicals that exist only for itch, separate from pain entirely. There's even a molecule, sometimes nicknamed the itch chemical in research, that seems to be one of the key messengers telling your brain something is crawling on you. In other words, itching isn't pain's little sibling, it's its own language. A language your skin has been speaking for millions of years, long before you had words for it. Some of this is still being mapped, and scientists are still debating exactly how itch and pain pathways overlap. But the picture keeps getting more specific the closer they look. Your skin, it turns out, is far more talkative than anyone realized. Quick pause. I'm genuinely curious about you. Where does an itch hit you the most? Your back, your scalp, your ankles, that one weirdly specific spot you can never quite reach? Drop it in the comments. I read them, and I love how predictable and yet completely personal everyone's itch map turns out to be. Now, back to your skin. Because there's a deeper question hiding underneath all of this. If scratching is so satisfying, why didn't evolution just give us a feeling that says remove the bug without all the suffering in between? The answer is genuinely clever. An itch you can ignore is an itch you won't act on. If checking your skin felt neutral, you'd skip it. You'd leave the tick where it landed. You'd ignore the mosquito. So your body evolved a sensation that's just uncomfortable enough to demand action, paired with a reward strong enough to make the action feel worth it. It's a tiny biological deal. Irritation now, pleasure the moment you respond. Multiply that across 1 million ancestors and 1 million parasites, and you start to see why this strange little loop survived. The humans who scratched stayed cleaner, healthier, and more aware of their own skin and what was on it. You are, in a quiet way, descended from very good scratchers. But the system was designed for a world full of crawling things, not a world full of wool sweaters and laundry tags and dry winter air. So sometimes your nerves fire when nothing is actually there. A shirt brushes your skin in a way it doesn't usually, and suddenly your C fibers send the same ancient message, check. Your brain doesn't know there's no parasite. It just knows the alarm went off and something needs to happen. And so you scratch a phantom threat, and your body rewards you anyway, because the circuit doesn't care whether the bug was real. It only cares that you responded. There's something almost tender about that when you sit with it. A reflex written for survival, still firing in a living room. Try this, gently, the next time you notice an itch forming. Don't scratch right away. Just watch it. Feel the way it builds, the way your attention narrows to one tiny patch of skin, the way your hand starts drifting toward it without your permission. That drift is older than language, older than humans, older than most of the species you share a planet with. And then, if you want, scratch. Notice the wave of relief, the small chemical thank you from your brain, the way your shoulders drop a little. You just completed a loop your ancestors completed billions of times before you were born. There's one more strange thing worth knowing before we close this out. You can scratch yourself, and it feels great, but if someone else scratches the exact same spot with the exact same pressure, it often feels even better. Researchers think this has to do with how your brain processes touch from another person. It adds an extra layer of social reward on top of the physical one, which is why a partner gently scratching your back or a friend tracing letters on your arm can feel disproportionately wonderful for something so simple. It's not just nerves, it's nerves plus belonging. Two ancient systems firing at once, inside one quiet moment. There's even a theory that grooming each other, scratching, pecking, smoothing, was one of the earliest forms of social bonding in our primate ancestors. The reward you feel when someone else scratches your back may be a leftover signal from a time when grooming literally meant, "You're safe with me." That same feeling, written into your skin, is still running today. And like a lot of your body's quirks, it's been hiding in plain sight your whole life. The next time an itch shows up, on your arm, your neck, that impossible spot between your shoulder blades, you'll know what's really happening underneath. A slow nerve is whispering a warning written millions of years ago. A faster nerve is about to override it. And your brain is about to hand you a tiny, ancient reward for paying attention to your own skin. That's not annoying. That's kind of beautiful. If this made you look at your own body a little differently, hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Subscribe to Bodyquirk so you don't miss the next deep dive into the weird things your body does every single day. And tell me in the comments, did you scratch at least once while watching this? Be honest, I already know the answer. Next time, we're going somewhere stranger, into why your brain forgets almost everything that happened before you were 3. See you there.